Hello friends, welcome back to another exciting video on our journey to learn Jenkins together. In today's topic, we are going to basically talk about how to install the Maven on Jenkins and run a simple Maven Java project. So without any delay, let's get started. So in today's video, we are going to talk about what is Maven, what are the advantages of Maven, disadvantages of Maven, Maven versus Jenkins, and how to install or integrate Maven with Jenkins. And finally, we are going to have a demo session on a sample Java project which uses Maven. So let's understand what is Maven. So Maven is a POM, which is nothing but a project object model based build automation and a project management tool written in Java. So Maven, the primary, I would say, the goal of Maven is to provide developers with a reusability, easy maintainable model for the projects. So once you have written a code in Java and once you have a build, once you have done the build using it Maven, you can reuse that code again again, since it is already built on other platforms. So Maven is chiefly used for Java-based projects, helping to download the dependencies, which refers to the libraries or a jar file. With Maven, you do not need to worry of how to set dependencies or other stuff. It will take care of all the dependencies when you have downloaded that project. Maven helps get the right jar files for each project, as there may be a different versions of separate packages. That's what I said, right, in my earlier point, that you do not need to worry about dependencies. The Maven will take care of that when you start downloading the jar files for your project. Now let's move with the understanding the advantages of Maven. So the first point is its simple project setup aligned with the best practices. Consistent usage across all the projects, which translates to non-ramp up time required for new developers being added to the project. So with the Maven, you do not need to worry of how much time it will take for you to set up a new project. If some of the developers join in your team, all it takes care and your project is available for you to start working on it for the developers who have joined the team. The third point is Maven makes it easy to start the projects in different environments. Users do not need to handle dependency injection, builds, processing, and other incidentals. So with Maven, you do not need to again worry about the dependencies of the project. It will take care of that. And the fourth important point is dependency management, including automatic update. So if someone has modified a code in a particular version in which you are working, and he or she has set a dependencies, so the Maven will take care of handling that dependencies by automatically updating. The last point is Maven allows users to run the single archetype command and create the foundation of completely compliant Springboard, Jakarta EE, Java EE, microprofile, or Android application. So let's not get into that, but it is it allows users to just execute a single command like mvn clean, mvn deploy, and mvn delete kind of thing. So there are certain commands which you should be familiar when you're dealing with Maven. Moving to the disadvantages of Maven, if the Maven code for existing dependency is not available, then it is not possible to add dependency at all. Say you built up a project, and while building up a project, you did not set up a dependencies properly, or you have forgotten to set a dependency, then in future you can't add that dependency at all. So that's the major disadvantage of the Maven. So when you use Maven for deploying the code, for building the code in pom.xml file, make sure that you have handled all your dependencies of the project. So next time when you build the project using the Maven, it takes care of your dependencies. So the other disadvantage of the Maven is you should learn the Maven command line language. If you're not familiar with that, it would be tough for you to build a project using Maven. Okay, so by now we have got what is Maven, what is the advantages and disadvantages of Maven. Let's now look what is difference between Jenkins and Maven when we compare them. So Maven is a build tool designed to manage the dependencies and the software life cycle. It is also designed to work with the plugins that allow users to add other tasks to the standard compile, text, package, install, or deploy tasks. Now see what is Jenkins. So Jenkins is designed for the purpose of implementing the continuous integration. We know Jenkins is a CI/CD tool. That means a continuous integration, continuous delivery, or people call it continuous deployment, right? It Jenkins checks the code of a repository. Once you have set up the repository using a GitHub, it helps you to check out the code from the repository, builds, packages it, and sends it to the server for the testing automatic. Remember, when we run the build trigger or build now, that's where it basically goes and gets your code from the Git repository, builds it, packages it, which is in the form of artifact, and then these all thing is sent then on the server, which is automatically executed, which can be on your master node or which can be your on slave node or agents. Right? Jenkins can use Maven as a build tool. That's what we are going to integrate Jenkins or Maven with Jenkins to build our Java project, right? So that's what is basically the difference. So in very short summary, the Maven is a build tool which can be used with Jenkins to do your continuous integration or continuous deployment of the Java project which you have written. Now, let's go with how can you integrate or install Maven using Jenkins on AWS EC2 instance. So we are going to basically install Jenkins on a AWS EC2 instance, and then we are going to also install Maven on that, right? So if you haven't seen my video on how to install the Jenkins on AWS EC2 instance, kindly go through my Jenkins playlist to get the understanding step by step of it. Also, there are a lot of other videos related to Jenkins where I have explained how to use the environmental variable, what is declarative versus pipeline, script pipeline. Also, there are other videos where I have explained the project roles and other stuff. So kindly go through and get yourself familiar with it. Don't worry about the steps. We are going to have a manual, we are going to have a demo where I'm going to walk you through all these steps, as how to integrate or install the Maven and then run your simple Maven Java project using Jenkins. So without any delay, let's move to our demo. So friends, I am on the Jenkins dashboard or Jenkins controller. So let's now start with the steps of how to install the Maven using Jenkins on your AWS EC2 instance. So the first step is click on Manage Jenkins, which you can see on your left side of your Jenkins dashboard. Once you have clicked on that, you need to go under System Configuration and select Global Tool Configuration. Once this is done, you need to scroll down where you will see something called as Maven and select Maven installation. The moment you select that, you will see the different versions of Maven available to you by Apache. And you need to make sure you check mark this install automatically and give the name of whatever Maven you want the name to be given. Now let's just save it. Okay, once you have done, click on new item, go to pipeline project, and just I have given a name called as Maven project demo, selected pipeline, click OK, and scroll down where you will see pipeline section. In that, make sure you select pipeline script. Do not select pipeline script from SCM. So let me select this, and all you need to do is select GitHub plus Maven. And the moment you select that, the pipeline script, declarative pipeline script, is generated for you. So you can see here pipeline agent any. That means it will run on any of the agents which is available. You can name your agent, or you can, wherever you want, you can name that agent and put it here the name. Then there is something called as a tools which will help you to install the Maven. So right now we are installing 3.9.0. So all I'm going to do is type here 3.9.0. Tomorrow, if I want 3.8.5, I can select that as well here. So this command will help you to install the Maven. So now let's move to the stages. In stage, we have something called as a build stage. I can name it as install as well, right? Since I'm not using the Git, I will remove this. I will also change this, run Maven. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to basically check the version of Maven. Okay, all I need to do is type here Maven -- version. Since I know the command, I'm already doing that. And then I'm going to write a post here. If you're using Git, then do this. Otherwise, leave this. You can write here something called as says echo Maven installed successfully. Okay, that's how you can do that. Okay, now let's just save it. Okay, now click on build now and let's see what happens. The magic will start now. So I guess it is failed. Let me see what is the error I'm getting. Okay, if you see, we do not need to type 3.9.0. It is asking you, do you mean Maven -demo? And that's what the name we have given for our installation, right? Remember, let me take back to you in Manage Jenkins. And then if you see here, I have given the name Maven demo. So I need to take this name, okay? And then I need to go and select here config, go down and name it this. Okay, save it. That's the beauty of declarative, that it does all the syntax validation. Remember in our previous video, if we would have used the scripted pipeline, it wouldn't have done, and it would have just executed your build right? But the declarative pipeline does the validation of the syntax before executing your build. So now let's just click build now. And if you see, it has started executing it. So let's go, and it is completed. Let's now go to our favorite console output, and you see it has started running Jenkins. This is the Jenkins project workspace where we have our Maven project demo. Okay, it is unpacking the zip file which it has got from the Apache repository. And then if you see, I have executed the Maven version command, and that's what it gives me, the version. And if you see, the Maven folder is this now. Okay, how can we verify that? You can go to EC2 instance and to paste here, and if you see, we have this Maven installed, right? Let's see. You see the README file configuration, bin, boot, lib. So Maven package is installed. Remember, also we have written a post stage where we have printed echo Maven installed successfully. It has printed in the console output. So that's how we can. It's very simple. You do not need to remember all the syntaxes, everything. Pipeline script generator will help you in that, right? So now we have installed our Maven 3.9.0 version on our EC2 instance. So now let's move to our sample Java project. So friends, all you need to do is go to your Chrome browser and just type sample Maven Java project GitHub. So click on this and click on the first link which is available. So once you click on this, you will see a public repository called as Jenkins doc/sample Java Maven app. So this is a public repository which we see here name as public, and it has the Jenkins folder, source folder. It has pom.xml. So in the Jenkins, you have something called as a Jenkins pipeline, and in that we are basically have the stages called as build, test, deliver. Okay, so these are the stages. Okay, so in the stage, if you see, we have executed command called as Maven build d skip testis and clean package. What this means is it's going to basically first clean everything and then download all the necessary packages which we need. The second is going to execute the test. Okay, and the third, after the test command is executed, it's going to basically create a report under the target surefire dash reports star.xml. And finally, then it's something, a stage called as deliver, right? So let's go back. Let's go to the source, and here you will see the project called as app.java. And in this, we are simply printing hello world. Okay, let's go back. Let's go to the scripts deliver.sh, and it has the Maven command where it is jar install help. It is installing the jar file, and then within the project it is evaluating, everything is there. So don't worry. If you, the most important part is this java dash jar target name version.jar. That's where it's going to create an jar file for you. So we will go through this whole process one by one. So now let's go to our dashboard. But before you go to the start with the Maven deployment or Maven Java project, we need to make sure that we have all the necessary plugins installed. So we need to check whether we have Maven integration project plugin install. Yes, we already have. Then we need to make sure we have a Git plugin installed as well. So now, since we have all these necessary plugins installed, let's go into the new item where I'm just going to select this. But remember one thing, you will see here something called as a Maven project. Since we have already installed the Maven integration plugin, I'm just going to first clone the directory, right? So I'm going to create a call as a Maven Java demo freestyle project, and I'm going to go down. Okay, and I'm going to go to a session called as source code management, and I'm going to click here Git, since it's a Git, right? So I'm going to get the HTTPS. I've copied here, and since it is a public repository, you do not need any credentials. And all I'm going to do is go down and add execute shell here, and I'm going to just write echo cloning the Git repository. Okay, and I'm just going to click here save, and now I'm going to click build now. So let's see what happens. So our build is gone success. We go to the console, and here is what we see. We see that it has started cloning the repository. It has executed a command called as git init, where it initializes the git, and then we have git version, we have config, we have checkout, and then finally it is printing our command, right, which we have written as a build step, right? Where is this all getting cloned? This is getting cloned under the workspace Maven Java dash demo. So let me go to this. Okay, and if you see, we have all our folders cloned, right? That's what was it, right? We had source folder, we have Jenkins, git attributes, git ignore, readme, pom.xml. So everything is now cloned under your project called as Maven Java demo. I hope you got an understanding of how to clone your Git repository in Jenkins, right? And that's what we have done that now. So now let's go back to our Git. Sorry. Okay, I'm going back to the Git demo. Okay, and now I'm going to basically execute that build, right? Remember, I showed you in the source, in the Jenkins file, this command maven b d skip test is clean package. All I'm going to do is copy this. Okay, go to here configure. Okay, and I'm going down. Since we have already installed the Maven, we do not need to worry. We just need to add one step called as invoke top level Maven targets. The moment we click on that, our Maven version, which we installed right initially, is becoming available, and now we need to type the goal. So the goal is nothing the Maven commands. So in this case, we are skipping the test, cleaning, and then downloading the latest packages from the Apache website. So I'm going to just do is copy this, save, and again I'm going to run this build. So now if you see, our build is getting executed. Let me open the console output. And if you see, everything has got success, right? So it has scanned it, it has skipped the test classes, everything changes, everything compiling the source file. Now let's go to the Java project and see what do we have, right? So we go here and we see a folder called as target. Let's go into this folder, and you see we have something called as a snapshot jar, and that's what is printed here, right? When we go here, it says building a jar, and in this jar you have all those things, right? So right, that's, remember, when we go down here, okay, when we go to the source, no, sorry, go to here, go to Jenkins script deliver.sh, This is where it is basically creating a jar for us, and it is creating under target folder, and that's what we see here. My app 1.0 snapshot dot jar, and then you have classes, Maven stages, tests, and everything. So that's what that build step has done. If we go back and go back to this repository, go to our source, that's what this build, sorry, go back, go to Jenkins file, sorry, go to Jenkins, and that's what this step has done. It has built, it has downloaded all the packages we did, and it has wrapped that. So friends, until now we have cloned the Git directory, we have installed the Maven, we have also built the Maven project, right? By using the command which is mentioned here, clean package. That means it downloads all the necessary packages from our source repository and the Apache Maven, right? So Apache Maven repository. Okay, so now we have the app.snap.jar. Now we need to get this deploy and test it. And that's what is our next stage, which is test. So all I'm going to do is configure, go down, okay, scroll down, and I'm going to write here echo deploying and pasting the Java project. Okay, and that's what we are going to do. So we go down here. Now let's type here again and type here test. Okay, but before deploying the jar, how can you deploy the jar project, right? So you have the command here. When you go here, when you go to Jenkins, go to the scripts, go to deliver.sh, you will see here it says echo application using the Maven to Java. So this command runs and outputs the execution of Java. When it says output the execution of Java, that means it's going to go here and execute this file where it is printing the message hello world. So let's see how this works, right? So all I'm going to do is go to Jenkins, this scripts deliver. I know Java dash jar and the target. So we have our location here. So I'm going to copy this location. Okay, go here, Java dash jar. Okay, copy this path. Okay, and get this jar file, copy here, and after this I'm going to deployment completed. Okay, let's go save it. Okay, build now. So our project is getting built. We'll go here, console output. You see it is getting built. Test escape, maven.test. Okay, test finish successfully. Let's open that in the plain text thing. And you see here, it has printed the hello world, and also it has printed deployment completed. It also printed deploying and start testing the Java project, and that's where it has basically untar the jar file and executed the Java program, which is app.java. Right, that's what it has done for us. Similarly, if you see the other, right, there was a app test.java, and it basically does the JUnit. So let's go back, and now if you see after this, if you go here, go to Jenkins file. It says post always JUnit targets safe reports .xml. So I'm going to basically get this here. Okay, go here. Okay, go to our project by clicking config. Okay, and I'm going to go to something, can remove this echo starting the JUnit just for our information. Okay, sorry for the typo error. This is done. Now let's go to the published J text report, and I'm going to just give here this. Okay, save it. Okay, build now. Let's see what happens. If it fails, then we'll give the whole path. Don't worry, but let's see what happens. Okay, it is success. Let's go to the console output. Starting this, it says no suitable checks published found. Okay, let me go back one sec. So friends, what I figured out was that it was missing the path. And the moment I did the path, let's see how it works. You can see here the RIP XML is printing this, right? You can see here the test result train. So it has executed that. I have already executed again. So if you see here, go to our console, and now if you go down, failure, what happened? Wait one sec, let me go down. Printed, so we have a failure here. Okay, let me again go to the config and see what is happening here. The var lab dash target demo. Skip this. I type here, what happened? Okay, save here. Okay, build now. Let's build again and see what is happening. We see the XML is getting published on our dashboard. So it went through. Let me go to console. Okay, no suitable checks published found, but it was able to do the success recording the test results. So that's how you can get the JUnit published. Now let's go back. Okay, and let's do another post build script where it says archive the artifact, right? So the moment you do this, okay, what happened? Add archive the artifact. Okay, this is where you need to give the path where you want to archive your artifacts, right? So for an example, I'm giving here target start.jar. Okay, let's save it here. Build now. Okay. So now this whole project is been built, but now we need to create a jar file and put that jar file to another or give to someone else who is working on that project or who wants to test how the project is, right? So now if you go to the console, you will see the art archiving the artifact, recording the text results, no for one found. Let me go to the target and let's see what we have. So let me go back. Okay, this is okay. and we again had my app.snapshot.jar, right? And that's where um, our we have given, right, that we want everything to be put in the name of jar file, and that's how this is. So you can also go to this Maven archiver. Okay, form dot properties is there. Okay, so archiving the artifacts, recording the text results. So this is how you basically build the jar, build the project, deploy the jar file, collect the artifacts, and that's how it is a simple Maven project, how it works using Jenkins. And this helps the developers to basically share their code across different environments. Once you have created a jar file, all you need to do is give that jar file package to your colleagues, and then they will just deploy that jar file, do the testing whatever they want, or if they make any changes to their version, then it can be merged to the master branch using a git thing. So I hope you got a better understanding of how to use or install the Maven, how to build your project using Maven, how to deploy the jar file, how to publish the report test results using JUnit. And finally, at the end of the day, we are packaging that everything and giving back to our colleagues so that they can deploy on their machine and work on that project if needed. Okay, thank you. In the upcoming videos, we are going to touch base on blue blue green deployment using Jenkins, as well as I'm going to start a new series of DevOps and SRE where I'm going to share what are their responsibilities and what things you need to learn in order to be a good DevOps engineer and an SRE engineer. Until then, take care. Bye bye, and kindly do share the video with your friends who are looking out to learn the Jenkins and get familiar with the overall how to use Jenkins in their day-to-day activities, has continuous integration and continuous deployment. Bye bye.